All right, and here is the Fans Hobby MB-11A. Is it 11A, 11B? I think it's 11A. God Armor, their black version of their God Bomber, here in his trailer mode, and he rolls. Not a whole lot. You got some windows, you got some little pilots in there, which we'll see in a little bit. But yeah, he's just a little God Bomber trailer for their power baser, in this case the black version. Now he does have a little hinge here right up in the front. I mean, again, there's not a whole lot. What you see is what you get some swords under here in trailer mode. You flip this little hitch up, and there's a couple little nubs here on the bottom of this. So if you just flip it straight up, you can actually open it up and use the screw holes here and kind of pinch it in between the legs. There we go. And attach it straight up to just the power baser small robot. If you want him to haul it, of course, he turns into a robot, but he doesn't actually attach to him directly by himself. But you can have him pull it. Or you can flip this around with that opening facing up, which then, whoops, and I don't even know if this is going to fit on my table. It just clips onto the back here, and you do want to, because of the way this hinges down, you do need to put a little pressure on it here to clip it on. Come on, clip on. There you go. Clip it onto the back of the full God Bomber trailer. Just going to attach it up. It came off. It attaches to power baser. See, that's what I'm talking about here. Get it all connected here. Stop turning. There we go. And now you can have the full. It barely fits from one end to the other on my table here, and that's a full 26 inches long. I measured it from the tip of Power Baser's inner robot to the back end of the God Armor. It's 26 inches, almost exactly. So yeah, it's pretty impressive here in vehicle mode. And now that we're all separated up, we'll look at the trailer itself, and there it is. It does have the missile launching feature. It does launch a missile out of here, and you just push this button right here, and you'll notice nothing is happening because this little panel right here, you push in on either side to arm or disarm the mechanism. So pushed in like this, nothing happens. If you push in the button from the other side, like that, you'll feel it push. You'll even see like a red lining here to let you know, around the button here to let you know that it's armed. And then when you push it, it shoots a little missile here. You get 2 of these missiles in case you lose one, but like I do like the fact that you can snap it in there, lock the mechanism, and not have to worry about it launching into nowhere or shooting you in the face. That has happened to me a lot. Back in high school, my girlfriend and I, especially when I got some Exo Squad figures, had a running joke that I didn't really own a toy until it had shot me in the face. Wolf Bronsky, I think, was one of the ones. Both Wolf Bronsky and JT Marsh did it, and Phaeton did it eventually. But I specifically remember with the Exo Squad figures. Anyway, sidebar over. Here's the trailer mode, and we'll go ahead and start pulling him apart and turning him into a robot. So go ahead and take this weapon off right here, the big cannon. Underneath, his swords are stored. These are all folded up, but you just pop them off. You can see like both sides have these grooves that fit over these tabs here to lock onto the bottom. But only one side has a peg, and you want to make sure when you're attaching them that the blue dot's facing down and the peg is facing up. Because if you do it this way, that peg will kind of scrape the ground. So pop off the swords. And you start taking it apart. Now back here, you just pull this whole assembly right here out. It snaps in. You'll see he's got 2 pegs right here that peg into these slots. When you're putting it all back together, because you kind of have to do it in the right order, this has to go in last because you got to slide these up into the front piece here. But getting it to lock in can be a little bit of a pain. You just got to keep trying and kind of wiggle it until you get those tabs lined up. But it is mostly lined up with the way everything sits, but sometimes it takes a little bit of wiggling and just finagling to get it to line all the way up. And you push it in, you'll hear it snap into place when it's locked. Just pop that back out, set that off to the side, and then, like I said, once that's out, you can slide these just backing out. They're just kind of held in around these corners by friction. You see how those sit right there, and then those corners just kind of come down and hold it friction in place. That's the arms. I come here, pull these panels out to untab the front, and then the front just slides out. And then you come back here. You can untab these first or not, but you just take these and you can kind of see what's going on here. So you take them and just slide the left one up, and they come apart, and then you can untab. You want to untab those anyway. You can do that first or last, but separate these two into two pieces. These are going to be the legs, and to turn them into the legs, you just flip out the toes and heel on the feet. This whole panel, you can see this gray piece where it meets the black, pops out a little bit. And once that pops out, you can take the wheels and slide them in there. One that holds this panel out as well as just kind of collapses the wheels out of the way. And then this panel here, you fold down and around like that. So the black piece is on the outside. You just fold that in and it matches up the detail here. Let me get that to lock into place here. Does it lock into place? I guess there's I guess there is a tab there, but good luck getting that to snap into place. And then this panel just kind of folds down. And again, there's a tab here that's going to tab onto the side of the leg. You just lock that into place and then take the foot and slide it. Should just slide over into the middle of the, there we go, slide it over, untab it from there and slide it over into the middle of the leg. And then just come right here and pull the thigh up. And there's one leg done. Set that off to the side. Same on this leg. Pop this piece. I don't know why that pops out, but all right. Pop this piece out. And on this side, it's a little tighter, but you just pop that out all the way so you can slide the wheels in. There we go. Fold these panels down, and then fold like that together. Fold that in and peg it together. Flip out the toes and heels. Then kind of unpeg it off of that tab. You see that tab right there. Lift it up off of that, slide it to the middle, and pull the thigh out. Now the thigh does lock into place when you're going back into vehicle mode. Just push this button right here and then slide the lock into place. You can see there's the hinge. So set those aside. Come here to the hands. Just unpeg them apart. They're pretty much ready to go. You can just bring the kind of thumb up around. Go ahead and lift this up because you can see how when this closes up, it pushes a tab in here. That's how it's going to lock onto the main robot mode. There's a tab over here and then a tab that pushes in over here. So just kind of lift that up a little bit so you've got the clearance. And same on this side. Just kind of bring the thumb up, lift this up a little bit, and set those off to the side. In the torso here, before we get all the way, take this tab, fold it around, and fold it back down into the crotch piece like that. And then this whole assembly right here can fold down. And inside, you've got these little drivers, headmaster drivers. And then their helmets are up here. So let's go ahead and pop them out. They can stay inside for all the modes in this piece, but let's pop them out just to show them off. And they're just little posable dudes. Got shoulders and elbows and hips and knees. Their heads do turn side to side. There we go. But then, like I said, they transform. You just fold them up. Fold up their hips. Fold them at the ab crunch. There's their little head. I've already mixed up which cap goes to which one. But then you just take the little cap pieces, hook them on, and now you've got headmasters. Actually, that might be the right one for that one. I don't know. I may have these mixed up, and if I do, I apologize. But yeah, you just take them, ab crunch them, bring the hips all the way up, fold them at the knee. Now, will these attach as headmasters too? They do have a Minerva coming out, and maybe this is the same kind of mechanism that she's using, and maybe these will attach to Minerva. I'm not sure. But it's basically, it's cab, and I can't remember all their Japanese names. And honestly, in this case, it's okay, so that's clearly not the right head for this one because it's not going on. There we go. And then same one. Again, ball joint. You ball joints are just not getting along today. All right, fine. Be that way. We'll fold you up and we'll snap you on here again like this. There. Now what are you going to do about it? Now what are you going to do about it? Anyway. There we go. And you got 3 little Headmaster Junior pilots. Off the side, but they can stay in there. And like I said, you saw that they each had their own little slot, and then the 3 helmet pieces can tab onto each of these little tabs up here to store them. This piece doesn't really do anything at this point, so set that over here. Then we come over here and just pop this piece apart, and we transform it into what we need it to be. So get that out of the way. Bring the arm, shoulder piece out to the side. This piece comes down. You can see it tabs on like that. And then go ahead and bring the hip piece ratcheting down. And just kind of get, this can just kind of stay out of the way for the time being. Extend the arm here at this joint all the way. You want to make sure it comes all the way until it can rotate, so it's got the elbow joint here. And then pop out half of the head here, lift it up, slide it over to the side and lift it up. So this is the back half of his head on half a ball joint. And it's cool because like it's on half a ball joint, but it's also locked into place. Like it's not coming off of that, which is neat. And just kind of fold this around under here, and we'll use that in a minute. But basically get it like that. And do the same on the other side. Get this up out of the way. Bring the arm out to the side. Make sure you're going to the right direction. Extend the arm all the way and to rotate it. Bring this piece down and tab it in like that until it clicks. Bring the hip down and then fish out his head piece. This one's a little harder. I don't know why this one wants to give me so much guff trying to get out of here, but get that up and out. Slide it over, lift it up, and again, it's on the front half of a ball joint. So here's the torso. We'll go ahead and take these. And again, half of a waist swivel. I don't know how they've got that all locked together, but that's really neat. Go ahead and snap these 2 halves together. Make sure the front of the head goes in front of the back of the head. I mean, it seems like a duh thing to say, but, you know, make sure. Then tab them together. And now, like I said, now his head's on a ball joint. It's a little limited. It's not a completely, you can't look up as much as maybe you would want. But the fact that they've still got a really cool looking, look up and down, all, side to side on half a ball joint. Same with the waist swivel. It's not a full 360 waist swivel, but enough to do the job. So fold those down. And then you got to get, these pieces can extend back here on the shoulders, but you want to get the this piece attached. And there's a trick to it. You kind of want to line it up down here first, because you can see where there's some slots here. Get it lined up down here. Make sure, and then if you get it lined up here first, down below, come on. And then you just kind of pull the shoulders out a little bit, which should allow this to slide in and lock into place here. And like finding the easiest way to do it, like they showed it in the video on Facebook. There we go. And then you make sure, again, make sure that clip goes over the top here. There we go. Well, come on. There we go. And then you can slide the arms back a little bit to sit a little bit more naturally. And then these fold around, and you just kind of fold this hinge around so that this lines up, this tab here lines up with the slot on the wing, so you can lock that into place right there. At the waist, like that. Oh, head popped apart, but that's okay. Just snap it back together. It ain't going anywhere. And just tab it around like that. And there's most of the torso of the robot. And then it's just a matter of taking his legs and sliding them on to the joints there at the waist. we'll attach him, and then we'll move the camera up so we can see what we're doing up here. And then come up here, you can see he's got, let's see if we can get this to rotate around so we can bring it up even more. And then the arms, like I said, so there's a, you can see when this tab pushes in, it pops out this tab over here. So when we lock this in, this tab is going to go into the arm and lock this side, and it's going to push this tab through this hole to lock the forearm on. So you just take the arm, slide it up until it fits into place, and then close. Once you close that down, you'll see that tab just came through this. You heard it click, and now it's locked on. Like it's not coming off until you lift this up again. And this kind of clicks into place too. So it's actually a fairly secure connection. It's again, they did a lot of really neat design choices in this that I'm looking forward to seeing how they do, how they utilize some of these ideas in future figures, because it's really, really neat the way they've done some of these connection points and transformation sequences. And again, same over here, just slide it in, push it in until that tab comes through, and now it's securely locked. And there he is. Super tall and good to go. There's his feet. So good wide shot here of all of him. He's big. Again, weapon-wise, he does have his big cannon. You can flip this piece down right here, and it's the same kind of little rail system. You can see he's got superposable fingers there. You can slide that into his hand if you want. You can attach it to his shoulder up here using the smaller peg if you wish. He's got a couple peg holes on either side, and that can lean up and angle like that. He does have his two swords, which again, you can use these pegs to store them right here, kind of on his waist, if you wish. He's got a peg, and you can do that on both sides, or you can take the sword. You can use it as a short sword like this. Again, it's got a rail on either side. So if you want to just have him hold a little short sword like that, you can do it. Or you can take the sword, you can open up these handles, you can extend it out like that, and you could use it like that. Cool, big longer sword. Or you could take this, flip this piece right here out and about, if it will, there we go, and make it even longer and give a very longer sword. Now that's really more for the combined mode, but you've got different ways to use the sword, and then again, it has the rail. You can just have him hold that in his hand. Personally, I think for just this robot by himself, that's a little bit too big of a weapon, but it looks okay. If you flip this in, it looks decent as a shorter sword here on the God Bomber himself. And posability, I don't think you're going to have a whole lot of complaints about this guy. Like I said, they managed to engineer like a limited but still a ball joint into the neck. He's got, you can see these little panels come up to allow for more arm range. But he's got ratcheting shoulders. He's got a bicep swivel. He's got not dual hinge elbows. He's got just the single hinge at the front, but like a decent range of motion in the elbow. He's got wrist swivel. That looks like it's a ball joint as well. So like ball jointed wrists. And then the individually articulated fingers, which sadly are not ball jointed. They don't spread, but they do have all the knuckle joints on each individual finger, as well as the thumb, which does have a ball joint at the base. Again, a limited waist swivel, but a waist swivel nonetheless. Ratcheting hips in both directions, thigh swivel, dual hinge knees, so they can come up, again, limited a little bit by the backpack here. Drop his things off. And then articulated feet. Not as much ankle tilt here on this big guy, but you know what, considering all the other things they've worked into this robot, I'm not gonna fault them for that, because there's some really neat stuff going on here. Yeah, he's a big mamma jamma. And now that we've mostly got him here in robot mode, a quick comparison here with Black Power Baser. Size-wise, you can see that God Armor is a little larger and bulkier overall, which means the big guy's gonna be kind of huge. So I just realized I forgot to, in my rush to get everything transformed, forgot to flip this little wheel thing around on black power base. There we go. All right, so to prep black power baser for the armor, you want to make sure that this bumper is back up, fold it up and push it back up and into its original position. Lift up these waist pieces and fold his hands back into his forearms, and then he's ready to go. We have to do some work on the God armor. Just ratchet him forward a little bit. We'll set him off to the side here, and we'll work on the God bomber. Actually, first off, the real easy part of this, the arms attach the same way here as they did onto the God bomber. You just slide them on, plug it down. I got to get to the right position there, and lock it on, and then it doesn't come off. You got to make sure, slide it all the way up to this ridge, and then it'll latch into this little groove here. So untap that, unplug it, slide it all the way on, all the way up to the groove, push that back in, and now it's latched on. It slides a little bit, but it's latched on to the arm, and he's got his giant armor pieces. Arm pieces. And then for God Bomber himself, we'll go ahead and pop the legs apart. Set them off to the side. And you want to push the button and collapse the leg back in. Fold this up. This is going to be the toe for the combined mode. Let's go ahead and bring this down a little bit, make it a little easier. So there's the leg. Now you want to pull this piece out now. This side piece expands out like that. One foot. Same over here. Expand that side piece. Pull that in and collapse the leg and flip it over so the wheels are facing up. And then these are just going to clip right onto his bottom of his toes here. There's even a cutout you can see there for his foot. So there's two grooves in here, and then there's two tabs on there. So you just kind of line this up. Should be line up. Go through this. Nope. Do I have another long foot? Shouldn't. Oh. No, that's got to be the toe. Okay, clearly I'm missing something. 1 second. Looks like I may just not be lining it up properly. Oh, no, you know what? This piece collapsed in. That's what the problem is. You gotta make sure, if you grab it, it's really easy to push that piece in. So you gotta make sure it's wide enough for the foot. There we go. And now it should snap right on. That was my problem. Let's say I did pull those pieces out, but then I collapsed them back in when I grabbed the piece like this. So yeah, make sure that pops out. And then the foot will snap right into place there, making Power Baser taller. So he's got arms and feet, and we're getting there. Go ahead and untab these pieces. Now the instructions showed how to do this from vehicle mode for the armor, so I'm doing this kind of loosey-goosey. Pop this off right here. Ah, come on. It's just on a little friction hinge. You can just pop that off, and then that attaches right here on the waist with these pieces up. You just kind of slide it right on here into the lower part of the crotch. These pieces stay up and out of the way. For the time being, then the chest armor just slides right up here and clips onto the front of, you may actually need to remove the Power Master off of there. There we go. Then you can't even see what I'm doing. This is my one drawback of giant figures, is making sure everything stays in frame. Because and I know that's a complaint, and part of it is just because I get so engrossed in messing with the figures, and that's entirely my fault. You slide this on up here, and these just kind of sit up here. I feel like you could probably put those behind there, but you just kind of set that up like that. And he's coming together. This piece, you obviously want to split the head here. down. There we go. Fold the head back up into its respective compartments. Now, I guess we can pop that apart, although we are going to want to have them back together here by the end. I'm trying to remember exactly how this goes. All right, so we take this, we want to get the arm collapsed and folded all the way back up inside the body here. Make sure that slides all the way. Come on, hinge. Be my friend here. I have this rotated the wrong way. There we go. And this should sit all the way, there we go, flat like that. Like this. So bring the wing out, and then bring this piece down. And tab this together like that. Just like that. So you basically want this piece to look like this. And same on this side. Rotate the arm in. Make sure you collapse it the right way. Make sure to get it over that tab. There we go. Bring the wing down and around. I'll bring it around so the yellow gold piece is facing the front like that. And then just pull this piece down and back into its vehicle position and tap it in place like that. And then these are going to go on the back of big boy here. Also, we can go ahead and attach, throwing all the guns on the ground. You attach these down here. And again, you're not. So what I'm doing is attaching the, all right, come on. Attaching the guns down here to the feet. Just like that. Great. Pivot this thing back around so we can pull up here. And then onto the, well, go back on there. There we go. Onto the back, these pieces are going to clip on up here. And you can see there's a tab. There's a little clip up here that clips onto the top of this, and this tab piece goes right in the side here in this peg hole. It's just a matter of getting the right, there we go, and then tab that right in there. And then same over here. Clip it on, top, and then tab that in right there. Turn them around. Oh, come on, you stay on. There we go. Sweet mama moogly googly. He's a big boy. And then, when that's all done, you can attach the big shooty cannon up here onto the armor, I think. Like that. And then his head, oh, I forgot to show off the new head. I did replace the head. Where did I put his old head? Behind me? There it is. So here's the original head that comes with him. And he's got a new, I can actually see how high we can get this here. Nope, still going. There we go. He's got a new head that attaches and actually transforms. Like it's actually a pretty decent looking head. But then it all, like just as is, but you can lift up, well, I unplugged it. You can lift up his head crest and pull out his earpieces to make it just a little bit wider and cooler here in the combined mode. But yeah, this goes on right here under the chest piece, like that. And then you can attach these guns. You can plug them in here over the shoulder. There's a spot. Where's that plug? I had it. Oh, right in here in the groove on the backpack. You can plug those onto a shoulder like that. You can plug them further down the back so they stick up. Here, you chest plate. I know you're. There we go. You can plug them on. Where was it? There's a spot here on the back you can plug them into. Right up here. On the backpack like that, if you want to have them kind of sit on the sides, or you can also plug them in to the end of the wing like that. Apologies, this is such a huge dude. I should have done this on the table. Personally, I like having them back here, but it's entirely up to you. I feel like this isn't locking properly. There we go. Are you on this time? There we go. Just wasn't pushed all the way back. All right. Also, don't grab him by that. He said grabbing him by that. So let's go ahead and put the guns back on. Attach gun. And where'd the other gun go? It fell. And then, of course, the swords. You can give him one giant sword. They can store on his back as well. Just plug them into the backpack. You can plug in right here, in one of these peg holes. Right there if you want, or you can extend it and give him one of his giant swords. And one of the things I forgot to do, come on. So in his smaller God Bomber mode, when you flip this out, this is the full-size sword for this mode. You can actually shrink this back down to make a shorter sword for God Armor by himself. But because we're in Big Mama Jamma mode now, we'll give him his giant sword. And now we'll finally zoom out and show you this big bad boy. Just to give you an idea of how big this thing is, here he is with the Fans Project Make Toys Cross Dimension Thunder Manus. So he's big, he's hefty, he's huge. That's a very impressive display piece with the God Armor on. A little, like I said, you'll have to forgive me. I'm still getting over a really bad ear infection, a little loopy from the medicine. But that's a really cool toy and a really nice armor set for what was already a pretty massive Jinrai / Power Master Optimus Prime from Fans Hobby. So there is the black God Armor for attached to Black Power Baser, and very cool.